Well, so there's a need to provide affordable housing for many people, or if not a cross-section or all of Ghanaians. And so a good initiative has commenced. 5,000 housing units affordable project is underway at Old Ningo here in the Greater Accra region. President John Mahama, who cut the sword for the official commencement of the project, said government has learned its lessons from the botched STS housing project and will ensure the current housing units being delivered will be done by 2016. A report by Gifty Andoapia.
According to the president, following the botched STX deal in which government surrendered the country's sovereign guarantee to help the contractor solicit funds, it resolved to opt for an arrangement which would be self-financing. It therefore settled on the partnership with Construtora OAS, the Brazilian firm building the 5,000 units. Member of Parliament for Ningo Prampram, E.T. Mensah, said only 2 of the 112 companies who applied agreed to the terms. The Brazilian ambassador to Ghana, Irene Vidagala, underlined the necessity not to consider housing as a political priority, expressing confidence in the ability of the Brazilian company to deliver. Minister for Water Resources, Works and Housing, Alhaji Collins Dauda, urged all contractors, including local ones, whose service will be sought to deliver according to specification, adding no delays and inefficiencies would be tolerated.
This project has some unique technological innovations, such as the use of sustainable, renewable building materials, solar power generation and waste water recycling management, and therefore will offer enormous learning opportunities for all those who will be associated with it. It is also designed to create jobs for not less than 5,000 people. It is our expectation that Michel's Construtora OAS will work diligently to deliver this project on schedule, as no delays or inefficiencies will be tolerated by government.
President Mahama said the Ningo project is the first of a scheme where proceeds from the sale of homes will be reinvested in the construction of more homes to address the housing deficit estimated to be at 1.7 million units.
We thought very much about the financing structure in order that it could be sustainable. And so the houses are going to be built. The houses are going to be sold to Ghanaians of all walks of life under proper financial instruments, mortgages, or other such financial instruments, so that they can pay for the houses over a sustained period of time. For those who can purchase the houses outright, they are welcome to do so. Landlords are not only charging high rents, but they are also asking for rent advance, sometimes for as long as 3 years. And so it makes it imperative that government should intervene in this sector. Nothing good comes easy. The beginning of every good thing and the beginning of every journey can be difficult. But it doesn't mean that when you start a journey and it is difficult, you should give up the journey.
He called on chiefs in the area to fight encroachment, especially by real estate developers, and to come out with a development plan for lands in the area.
The bulk of our people here are farmers. If we just allow haphazard development and real estate agents to just buy off all the land, where are we going to farm to be able to get food to feed ourselves? Pick up with government and the town and country planning, and let's create a master plan of development for this area, so that we can have lands for every purpose that we need it for.
The 5,000 affordable houses are expected to be completed in 4 years. It will be sold in partnership with Ghana Home Loans at cost or break-even prices to Ghanaians, especially public workers. Gifty Andopia, Joy News, Ningo Prampram.
Government says it's at the final stage of negotiations with the Social Security and National Insurance Trust to complete and sell affordable houses started by the Atwal and PP administration. President John Mahama made the announcement at the launch of a new affordable housing project at Salagami in the Ningo Prom district, the president noted that the directive for ministers not to award any more contracts this year was to gather enough funds to clear all stalled projects, adding it to make no sense awarding more contracts when old ones have stalled.
With the uncompleted affordable housing scheme started by the previous government, we are finalizing negotiations with SNIT to take over those houses. There are almost 4,900 of them. To take over those houses, complete them, and sell them to the general public. And so those affordable houses will be available. The current one we're going to cut short for are going to be available, and the new one for another over 4,000 units are also going to be available. We believe that this will be a major contribution to housing in Ghana. We undertook a policy and said that the ministries should place a moratorium on awarding new contracts. And we did it for a purpose. Over the years, we have been awarding contracts every year, and there are so many uncompleted contracts or projects littered across the country. It doesn't make sense to continue to award new contracts when you're not paying for the old contracts that you have awarded. And so for this year, we asked all the ministries, departments, and agencies, and I'm happy they are abiding by the instruction, to place a moratorium on new contracts, and let's spend the money and pay contractors for the work they have done for government in the past. Using that, we've been able to clear a lot of the pipeline. All of you remember the Gang of Four, the major roads leading into Accra and the Sofo Line interchange. As a result of the moratorium, we are raising more money to pay for the completion of all those projects. And so far, over the last 2 or 3 years, we've spent almost 400 million Ghana cedis on those projects alone. So we are meeting our targets, and I'm sure that the sacrifices that we're making are being made for a better Ghana.
We now go to the central region, where chiefs in Elmina are threatening to go to court to stop the construction of a fish processing plant in the town. Well, they explain that this is because all attempts to meet the Fisheries Ministry over the projects at the Marine Park in Elmina has failed.
The Traditional Council is said to have started discussions with its lawyer over a possible injunction to stop the project. This is after chiefs of the Edna Traditional Council last Tuesday clashed with the contractors at the site in an attempt to stop them from working, claiming the site was forcefully taken over by government without due consultations with the chiefs.
Traditional Council
Work is, however, still ongoing at the site. The chiefs say they are seeking an amicable solution to the standoff, but tell Joy News they will have to resort to other means since government is unyielding. Nana Kojo Eduakwa speaks for the chiefs.
And our observation is what we are sharing with him, that it looks like he doesn't seem to understand us. And that is why I remember he made mention that our attempt to stop the people working on the site, the fish processing site, was basically was nonsense, as he said in the other time. But we wish he comes to see him so he will realize that we are making some sense.
The project, which is at the seashore, according to the chiefs, is even threatened by tidal waves, as many homes along the beach front have been destroyed, and it continues to threaten houses there.
It's the site we're talking about, the alternative site. If when they were repairing the bridge over there, all the canoe fishermen actually landed here, including the ladies, the fishmongers. This was the site. And if you check the trunk of this land, where do you expect the fishermen to do? As I speak to you over there, you saw the huge canoe population over there. And if something is to happen here and happen on the bridge, where do you expect the people to go?
They therefore insist the siting of the proposed fish processing plant is not appropriate and will do everything possible within their power to remove that project from the area. President John Mahama laid a foundation for the commencement of the $11 million project about 2 months ago. Georgina Pierce report.
62 motorbikes have been arrested by the police in a special operation conducted by the Upper West Command. The operation was carried out following numerous complaints about the theft of motorbikes in the Wa municipality. Rafiq Salam's report.
Motorists in the Upper West region, especially the Wa municipality, have for some time now been having sleepless nights over the motorbike theft, one of the cases attracting the highest number of complaints. The Upper West Regional Police Command, after the numerous complaints, decided to launch the special operation targeting motorbikes whose ignitions have been tampered with. Deputy Upper West Regional Police Commander Assistant Commissioner of Police Kweku Ampofoduku says 62 motorbikes were arrested in the exercise and the owners have been asked to bring documents proving their ownership. ACP Ampofoduku had some advice for the public.
For the public, it's very simple. That motorbike stealing is very common in the Wa municipality. So the public should be careful the way they park their motorbikes, not haphazardly as previously. Also, those who have been buying motorbikes from unsuspecting people, the bikes might be stolen. So they must ensure that the proper documents are handed over to them before they buy any motorbike.
Rafiq Salam's report.
Well, so we'd have to take you a year from today, and it was a disastrous moment as many Ghanaians heard the news about the Melcom disaster. And it was about 9:30 GMT on November 7, 2012, and Facebook and other social networks were replicated with reports that a building in Achimota had collapsed. The situation reached fever pitch as various media houses began to break the story. International media organizations such as the BBC and CNN were not left out of the uncanny disaster. The collapse of the 6-story Achimota Melcom shopping center on that fateful day was an undesirable show and a blow that hit the country with the loss of lives, injury, as well as the loss of property, not only to the company but to many of the victims. The scene was inundated with rescue teams, emergency responders, volunteers and medical staff striving to save as many lives as possible with the least of resources available to them. Well, as you can see in the picture, there were many rescue attempts and missions that got way into the second day. 9-man Israeli rescue mission eventually had to be called in. They joined the Ghanaian rescue team with their fancy sniffer dogs at the disaster site to assist in locating and extracting any remaining survivor. And we had a lot more activity with the involvement of military and police personnel, as well as emergency services that had been undertaken within the period to ensure that lives were saved. And you can see in your picture there again, a year from now, we had that very disaster, and there were a lot more assistance that the emergency and rescue teams had from not only neighbors but also young people who had volunteered their services to ensure that lives were saved. So our condolences go to the families of those who lost their members. But today, of course, it's 1 year on, and we're asking the question, what has been done so far as a country to avoid this from recurring again? This very disaster. You have to stay with the Joy News Today team as they get you these answers to this very question. But wherever you are, please get interactive. Where were you a year ago? What are some of those memories you could keep us updated with? If you lost a family, please just tell us some of your experiences.
Traders whose structures were demolished on Tuesday at Tiptoe Lane to make way for construction of the interchange at Kwame Nkrumah Circle have returned to the area, challenging their eviction by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. According to President of Trader Association Joseph Osei Ajiman, they were not served prior notice, insisting their rights were trampled upon.
The demolition exercise, which took place yesterday, is to pave way for the construction of the Circle interchange. More than 30 shops were pulled down in an exercise the police say will affect about 1,000 structures around the Kwame Nkrumah Circle. The traders who were affected were back this morning, though without their shops. Most of them say they are looking to their leaders on the way forward. Their president maintains the demolition exercise was unconstitutional and uncalled for.
Nobody served us any notice. Nobody served us any notice. I just saw that they were demolishing. And so I didn't hear anything like anything was going to happen. From our investigations, there's nothing like that. He was just using that as an excuse to come and demolish things around this place.
He alluded to possible foul play.
The sub-metro chairman who came to do this, Victor Kwashi, he said those people who are parking up there and selling on cars, that is what he came to stop. Then the spillover is what happened here. But if you go to the top, people are selling on one side, and the other side, they have used it as a car park. And that is causing all the traffic here. So if he's sacking those who are selling, he should also remove the car park from there. But because he's collecting monies from those at the car park, he's condoning with them to commit crime. And yesterday when they came here, the honorable member MP told him that if he's sacking these people, he should go and sack these people too. They didn't do that. They left them there. Why did they leave them there?
He said they are seeking the intervention of the Accra mayor.
Well, so that's it for the morning news on the AM show, and we know it's live on the Joy News channel of Multi TV.
Yes, so let's take a look at the headlines again. Construction is underway of 5,000 units of affordable houses at Ningo to be sold to mostly government workers.
In the central region, Elmina chiefs threatened to go to court to stop a fish processing plant from being constructed in the area.
And a year after the death of 14 persons in the Melcom disaster, there are still questions left unanswered.
Well, while we wait for those answers, that'll be it for now. We have to go for a break. When we come back, we'll be looking at the thorny issue of the relevance of the chieftaincy institution today.
Yes, but I think sports will be next before that, so do stay for sports.
Welcome back. Now, Ghana has been giving some sort of a boost. We don't even know what's happening yet, but we call it a boost because FIFA might just reconsider changing the second leg venue of that game between Ghana and Egypt from Cairo to a neutral grounds. And the sports minister is actually in Monaco for the International Conference on Sports and Peace, and he is going to make that appeal over there in Monaco.
Its decision to allow Egypt to host their World Cup tie against Ghana in Cairo this month after protest by government. President John Dramani Mahama early this week asked Blatter to examine the decision carefully in the wake of growing violence in the North African country ahead of the second leg of the playoff to the World Cup. Ghana legend Abedi Pele also spoke to Blatter this week after Sports Minister Elvis Afriyie Ankrah had written to FIFA over the decision to approve the match for Cairo. The FA's request to have the match moved to a neutral venue on security grounds was rejected by FIFA, which informed the sports minister's decision to request an urgent meeting with FIFA to discuss the issue in the wake of the political and social unrest in Egypt since President Mohamed Morsi was overthrown by the military. FIFA now says it's looking carefully at the decision to allow Egypt to play the game at the Air Defense Stadium. Sepp Blatter also revealed that he wants to get rid of World Cup qualifying playoff ties in future future, insisting the playoffs are a hard way for teams to miss out on the finals. 20 teams plus host Brazil have qualified for next year's tournament via round-robin groups. The remaining 11 places will be decided this month, all in two-legged playoffs. 5 matches will be played in Africa between runners-up from the 10 second-round groups.
There will be Champions League action coming up pretty shortly, but before then, Season 7 of the Joy Sports Invitational Tournament is simply getting under fire because all the corporate entities who have registered to be part of it simply cannot wait for 23rd November 2013 at the Elwak Sports Stadium, where they will all converge to see what they can do to win some trophies for themselves. We have visited a number of the corporate bodies, but this time the train stopped at the Accra Brewers Limited. They produce club beer and a host of other products, consumable products, of course. Let's see what they have to tell us ahead of Season 7 of the annual Joy Sports Invitational.
I'm going to sit them down, give them every tutorial that needs to go into the game. So this year, as my team captain said, we are bringing we are defending our trophy, and then alongside we are bringing another trophy to the ultimate. So this time around, we are defending and then bringing another trophy on board.
It's a talented something that God has given it to us.
Talented.
It's talented something. So it's not something that we do practice or something. But when we are gathered together, we can every hour, every time that you call us, we can provide.
We are very ready. You can see from today's session, training-wise, a lot of preparation is going on the quiet. You should know that we have a trophy to defend, the MD's trophy. We have assigned Greg to Amsterdam for the past 1 month, just to hone down his skills.
Well, they should bring it on. We are ready for them.
Now, ahead of Ghana's second leg qualifier, which will be the final decider between Ghana and Egypt for who joins the rest of the African teams for the 2014 World Cup in Brazil, Ghana has received another major boost, this time as in terms of money. The Black Stars have received 100,000 Ghana cedis from one of their sponsors, or their main meal sponsors, CCTC, producers of Rice Masters.
On behalf of the Ghana Football Association, I would like to thank CCTC for being a diligent sponsor, for being a responsible sponsor. Unlike other sponsors who are in arrears of paying their obligations to the GFA, you have always paid your due timeously. You have never been in default, and we need to commend you for that. So the other sponsors who are not paying should take a cue from CCTC and ensure that we get our monies on time. Because if you owe and you don't pay at the right time, you may pay, but the money may not be of any use to the FA when you pay. If we decide to pay us in 10 years' time, we may not need the money. Because of time value, the money would even have lost its weight and its value. And so it will not be the same, that the value will not be the same as you contracted at the beginning of the term. And so I'd like to thank you and also to urge your company to continue to support the Black Stars. And we believe that together the sky shall be the limit.
It's based on our contract, and we will set up a date every year. By this time, we'll give our partial for the Black Stars. So it's already a set up date from the contract that we have, and it happens that always at this time they have a big events in early next year. That will be a perfect time for the GFA to prepare themselves for their tournaments.
Arsenal, Barcelona, they all received wins in their Champions League matches last night. Arsenal beating Dortmund, AC Milan losing to Barcelona. Here are some matches, highlights of some matches that were played in the UEFA Champions League last night.
The atmosphere in Dortmund was more Premier League than Bundesliga. A big challenge with potentially big rewards. Borussia Dortmund threatened first, though. Neven Subotic came close to giving them the lead. They had an even better chance soon after. Henrik Mkhitaryan wasted it. Dortmund continued to press in the second half. Jakub Błaszczykowski denied by Szczesny. Marco Reus denied by the offside flag. Then Arsenal responded and stunned Dortmund.
What a chance and an Arsenal goal! Aaron Ramsey pops up and Arsenal lead in Dortmund.
Dortmund could have equalised moments later. Reus fluffed his lines. He was almost punished when Olivier Giroud found Ramsey. Weidenfeller in the right place. Weidenfeller was involved again when he challenged Laurent Koscielny. Referee Bjorn Kuipers gave a goal kick, much to Arsene Wenger's frustration. That frustration turned to joy on full time. A famous victory for Arsenal. Dharmesh, Sky Sports.
We had a difficult period at the start of the second half, but after we came into the game and suddenly we looked like we could score what didn't happen for a long time. And overall it was a very mature performance, I think.
It was a proper good away performance today. You know, we defended ever so well and we got them on the counter attack. You know, they're no mugs. You know, they got to the final last year and we're unlucky. And you know, they're a very strong team. And you know, we had to do our defensive work really well tonight. And you know, we're over the moon with that.
They came, I think, the 60th minute, first time. Yeah, in front of our goal, and it was the goal, and so the game was decided because the last 30 minutes was wild, and yes.
Then Messi took it and scored. Less than 10 minutes later, it was 2-0. Xavi with a free kick met by Sergio Busquets. AC Milan did pull a goal back. Gerard Piqué knocking this one in its own net. Less than 10 minutes to go. Barca made it 3-1.
Messi. Fabregas. Messi. Magnificent!
So Barcelona are through. Celtic do still have an outside chance of claiming second spot, but they will need other results to go their way.
It only took 10 minutes for Atletico Madrid to score.
Hey. In other results of matches played last night, Basel drew 1-1 with Steaua Bucuresti. Chelsea won 3-0 against Schalke 04, and so bad news for Kevin Prince Boateng. And Napoli, they beat Marseille by 3-2. Remember that Marseille's first goal came from Ghana's midfielder Andre Dede Ayew, but he saw his side lose 3-2 to Napoli. Zenit St. Petersburg 1, FC Porto 1. Atletico Madrid 4, Austria Vienna 0. Ajax 1, Celtic 0. Barcelona 3, AC Milan 1. And so with this, we can easily tell that Chelsea is going through to the next round. Arsenal is also might go through to the next round, but they have 9 points, so do Napoli. And so there's going to be a decider. The game between Napoli and Borussia Dortmund and the other one between Marseille and Arsenal will be the deciders as to which two will qualify from Group F to the next stage. And then we'll see how it goes for the other teams as well. Barcelona, of course, through to the next stage of the competition. I'll be back at midday on News Today with more on the Champions League and other stories making the rounds in the world of sports. Sports is made possible by the kind courtesy of Tigo. Smiley, you've got Tigo.